Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This week I wanted to go over the different prop box methods I use and add some more moss to one of my prop boxes. So let's get started. Alright, this is the first one that I made. It is just an open container that I put moss in the bottom of, and if it was something that needed a bit more humidity or I knew it was going to be drier, I would just put like some plastic wrap on top. Currently I have some turtle vine and some sedum, and I actually forgot I had some snake plant cuttings in there, and they are doing pretty good. There is one there, and then there's one in the middle. I think you can see that. Yeah. So yeah, I forgot that I had snake plant cuttings in here, but they probably need moved out of here, but it's just an open container with moss and potentially plastic wrap over the top. It's pretty simple and it works for small random cuttings, last minute random cuttings, I'd specify that. But then I decided that since I usually don't have plastic wrap over the top because that can be kind of a pain to deal with, I would have to water it more often. It was more of a this I would use as a stay on top of it prop box setup. So this one I wouldn't keep doing it that much, just as like a backup if I needed more space or I had a bunch of random little ones. Then I have this one here, but this style, it was just a pencil box. I have some pothos in here right now, but this was just a pencil box that I repurposed specifically because it has a clear lid. Yes, it is a colored clear lid, but it's not, and the bottom is opaque, but it's still clear, it's not colored. So I used this one specifically because I wanted it to be clear so I could potentially see roots on the sides or the bottoms if that became an issue, and I wanted it to be able to get some light through, so that's why I went with this one instead of like a solid blue one or something like that. But yeah, this one works to keep the moisture inside, and I can still see what's happening through the lid, and it's not a pain to open and close it. The only problem I had with this one is when the plants started getting taller, they would get pressed up against the lid and either damage themselves or potentially start rotting because humidity. So this works, but it's not a longer term setup for a prop box. But yeah, and then this one I don't have. If I had a clear lid, I would love this setup, but I don't, so I'm using plastic wrap for it. I don't love that, but it works. It's just a shoebox that works really well. I have seen some other containers, and if I had more space for this setup, then I probably would have a bigger storage box. I've seen some shallow ones, I've seen deeper ones. I have some boxes in mind that I could use. It's just a matter of having the space for it. So for right now this works, but alright, I think that I prefer this one if I can find a clear lid. A clear lid is something that I would really want for this. Yes, I do have some leaves sticking out over the edge, but I could either clip that or not leave it completely closed over. It's where this one is shallow and kind of keeps it, it's more for medium-sized cuttings, longer-ish terms setup for it. This I think can be not a permanent setup, but if it's a slower grower, this is probably what I would use. It's deeper and it has just a bit more space. So I couldn't stick this philodendron cutting in here. I could stick any of these in this bigger one and that would be fine. But since it is most of them are a viney something, I wouldn't want to keep them in there just because that would take up most of the real estate, and if I had multiples in here, they'd try to drown it out and choke out the slower ones. I do have a few different, this philodendron is more of a viney one than say this one, so I'm going to need to keep an eye on them, but these were in here longer, the bigger one was in here longer, so I'm not worried about the smaller one choking them out, but also with the plastic wrap over the top, I can easily keep a closer eye on this. But yeah, I think if I can, the biggest thing here is a clear lid. If I could find one or just a similar sized box with a clear lid, that's what I would change it all over to. I'm not going to get rid of any of my different propagation setups, but if you are looking to set up one, I'd probably start with this rather than an open container like this one. And if the moss method works out for you, then I would potentially upgrade to this one, but I wouldn't just jump in with this one because this does use a lot of moss. That's part of the reason why I started out with this, because I didn't want to use gobs and bunches of moss for something that might not work out super well. So once I figured out that the moss was going to work really well, then that's when I switched over to the pencil box. And that just works really well for the bigger plants, the bigger cuttings, and it works for longer term storage. It still gets a little bit of airflow, so it's not like going to get moldy or anything in there, but it'll still keep a lot of that moisture in there, what with the condensation and stuff. And this one, I do have to keep a closer eye on it for moisture, or you know, if the plastic wrap starts falling in on it, that can be kind of a problem. I don't have this one super close to light, so I don't have to worry about it burning so much, but that would be something that I might be concerned about with that. But now that we've talked about that, this one needs a little bit more moss, and I will show you how I do that. Alright, I have a bowl here with some, well, it used to be lukewarm water. I do prefer it to be at least a little bit warm. It does keep the, it helps the moss absorb the water quicker, so I can use it because I tend to do things with the moss a little bit last minute. But I'll just take a few bits and just absorb the water. I got this off of Amazon. Focus. It was pretty reasonably priced. I am careful with the amount of moss that I use for these things, and I reuse it. Whether that is the thing to do or not, I do. I will squeeze all the water out and I will let it dry, and then I'll just pack it in a container to reuse when I need it. But after a while it does start breaking down, Oh man, these have been in here for a week, a little over 2 weeks maybe? Around a week to 2 weeks. And these already have roots on them. I mean, pothos are super easy to grow, but yeah. A lot of this moss in this prop box probably should get tossed out. I think I'll still keep it though, just for filling up the bottom. But yeah, I'll just put this on top. I might have pulled out too much for this. It's not, when you're starting a prop box, you don't need to bury the cutting too much. I mean, unless it's a root cutting. If it's a root cutting, obviously it needs buried. But if it's just a stem piece, make sure the node is in contact with the moss. But other than that, I don't think you need to be too picky about it. You could probably rehydrate it with, I don't know if they make rooting hormones. I don't know. You could probably put rooting hormone in the water or on the moss before you put the roots in to encourage growth even further. I've not had any issues with that, so I don't think I'm ever going to need to do that. But yeah, that is pretty simple and easy. Yeah, I'd get some lukewarm water, throw the moss in, and don't throw the whole package in, just tear off what you think you're gonna need. It comes vacuum sealed in pretty thin packaging, so it's a lot easier to deal with when it's like that. So I just pull off pieces rather than take the whole thing, and unless you know you're going to need to use the whole thing. But I haven't, so I just tear off what I need, roughly. And if I have leftovers, like I do when I'm done using the prop box, just squeeze out the moisture, lay it as flat as I can in an area that's going to get enough airflow, and just let it dry out, and then you can either put it in there or put it in a bag. But yeah. That is going to do it for this week's video. Like the video if you like the video, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you next time.